talk about the app. It's a new Tinder of flat Earth.
You saved that. The Tinder of flat Earth.
Yeah,
that's great.
How crazy would it be if his app only located you to other flat earthers? Like as far as
what it
Tinder
does,
like swipe right.
No. I know it does that, but I'm saying only.
That's all it does. That's all it does.
Oh, that's great then. All right, Dave, hold on.
Welcome to a new episode of Two Idiots and an Expert. It's Lee and Cops. We're here with Flat Earth Dave Weiss. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Great to have you, Dave. I'm going to read your bio now so people get a little background on you.
Big studio audience.
Flat Earth Dave hails from the East Coast of the United States, where he was born and raised. He began his Flat Earth journey when he left his very lucrative corporate job and started his own company. As a hobby, he hosted a conspiracy comedy show at the New York City Comedy Club for 3 years. After many fans urged that he look at what he considered to be a ridiculous notion called flat Earth, he sought out to disprove this conspiracy and put it to bed once and for all. It was then that he discovered flat Earth was in fact the true Earth, and it hasn't looked back. He's now on a mission to wake up the world to flat Earth because it is the most important topic today, especially in light of today's current political and social climate. Welcome to the podcast, Dave.
There he is. What up, Dave?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys?
Wow, this is great.
Thanit for coming,
Dave.
Before we jump in,
I
listened to a couple episodes of your previous podcast, and the last one
awesome.
you had it was Board
Board of Authority.
And I'm listening, and I didn't know who was the host and who was the guest at first. I'm like, wait, these guys are windsurfers? I'm a huge windsurfer in the 1980s. I did the transatlantic windsurfing race, which ties into flat Earth.
Wow.
Tim has done a lot of stuff back in the day. He was a Canadian, and it was like a windsurfing. I remember him talking about it on the pod. And
then also I took the second run in snowboard history.
Whoa,
wow,
that's cool.
No,
where was that?
Jake Burton was testing out snowboard across the street from my house, and then I tried it after he tried it. And then I went off to college, and he started Burton Snowboards.
Now was that Vermont?
He was in Connecticut, and then he went up to Vermont. Yeah.
Wow.
So
it might not have been the actual second run, but we had an encounter before anyone knew what snowboarding was.
But that was like when was that? That's the late 70s, right? I think
the late 70s. Yeah, late 70s.
Yeah, it had to be in the 70s.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then
for a long time.
My son, when he was 5, we were going up to Vermont snowboarding, and I'll just put him in a ski week with a snowboard. And they're like, oh, we don't take snowboarders. And because he's under 7, you have to do private lesson. And so I ended up calling up. I got like high up on the authority of the mountain, and I said, hey, I'm calling from Snowboard Magazine and Performance Snowboarding, which are 2 magazines that I was in the printing industry then. And I said, we're doing an article on ski resorts in the East that are incorporating snowboarding into their ski week program. They're like, well, we thought about it, but there's not much demand. I said, oh, yes, there is demand. I said, last year we sold 5 kid snowboards. This year we sold over 200 already. The truth was we sold 4. Okay. And so they put him in, and all the other kids were like, I want to do that. I want to do that. Hence started the Northeast Mini Riders program, thanks to me scamming my son into the program.
Dave, you should have jumped into the snowboarding game, man. You wouldn't have to worry about flat Earth.
I was early in snowboarding.
A big chunk of it.
I snowboard. I love it. It's once you go switch to snowboarding, you never go back to skiing.
I'm a skier, and I'm too old to switch.
Well, here's the problem. I'm too old to switch, and I don't want to waste a good day of skiing getting my ass kicked on a snowboard.
I'm not in good enough shape.
Yeah, well, when you do it, then you switch. It's like flat Earth. Once you go flat, you never go back.
Ooh, that's a good tactic.
Yeah, that is, and a good transition.
Once you go flat, you never go back.
Because mountains are not flat.
You never globe back.
There you go.
All right. So Dave, so tell us, you were from the East. We're in New Jersey. Where'd you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your background really quick. So
I'm in Connecticut. Nice. And this is where I grew up, and I went to college, and I went to corporate America, and I dominated there. Then the company I was with got bought out. So I started my own competing company, and or same business, not really competing with them because they got out of the business. And I was doing really well. And I was doing a podcast about conspiracies. And then in the third year of the podcast out of New York City, I kept getting people emailing me, "Hey, Dave, you look into flat Earth?" And I'm like, "Delete. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Banned. You can never comment on my stuff again." And I refused to watch a video. And then I was forced. We all have the same story. Flat Earth is stupid. You're an idiot for suggesting it. I'm not going to watch anything. Okay, I'm going to watch it to prove you wrong. And then you watch something, you go, huh? And then you'll watch something else, and you're like, huh? And then you go out and test it yourself, and then you're like, holy mother effer. And then,
curse, by the way.
Yeah.
You drop F-bombs.
Yeah.
You
Right.
say fuck. It's fine.
No.
So wait, so
I tried to disprove it. And that was 7 years ago or so, whatever, 2014, 2015. And once you see the deception and you realize, first you go through all stages. It's like losing a loved one, right? You go through agony and grief and anger. And then you realize, and you say, there's so many proofs of the globe, sunsets, seasons, the sticks and shadows,
horizon, we get it.
All that stuff. And then you find out none of them are really proofs of anything other than some of them prove flat Earth. Then you look back and you go, the globe is so stupid. I can't believe I ever believed it. And then you're like, well, why the lie? And that's the biggest one of all. And let's just jump right into why the lie real quick. Why the lie is they're hiding more land. We can get into that. They're hiding that we're at the center of creation, which opens up a whole new can of worms. Ooh. And they're hiding technology that they don't want us to have. What if there was cars that can suck energy out of the ether and never need to be fueled up? What if you could crank your air conditioner to 50 degrees Fahrenheit all summer long, turn your house into a sauna all winter long, and drive your car anywhere you want and never have to pay for any of those things? There's a reason right there. But they need us to work for them, to pay for energy, to pay for all of this stuff, when all of it is free here on this electrical dielectric plane Earth that we live on. How's that?
That's a good reason why.
That's a good start. I mean, listen, I personally have never really been a conspiracy guy. Never really went down the conspiracy rabbit hole. You know why? Because I feel like once you start going down that hole, everything seems to be a conspiracy.
Well,
it's a hard way to live, Dave.
You know what? You're so right. So the podcast in New York City was called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Myself and Tim were the truth seekers, and Mike Cannon, the comedian, tried to turn everything into a fart joke. And the question was asked, well, what's not a conspiracy? And I had a hard time coming up with something, but I came up with, hey, Sully landed that plane on the river, on the East River, on the West Side Highway, West Side River. Yeah. That never happened. That was a scam also. Okay.
Right. But didn't people see that live?
No, they didn't. They saw it on TV. It was super freezing outside. They did tow some wreckage out there to do some filming, but none of it happened. And and so there is that famous quote by the CIA director that says, once the American people believe, everything they believe is false, our mission is accomplished. And I always laughed at that. Oh, come on, everything. Yeah, it's almost everything. I mean, our history is a lie. All of it's a lie.
Wait, so Dave, do you tend, just before we even get into this, because we'll get to the flat Earth, but do you tend not to believe anything? Well,
here's the thing. I tend not to believe anything, real or fake, until I verify it myself. Because if I bet every major event was fake, and I bet $1,000 in every major event that it was fake, I'd be rich, because most of them are fake. I mean, maybe there's a couple of real ones, but you guys know that the New York event, which we shall not mention here because I'm putting this on YouTube, isn't what they told us, right?
You guys, I mean, we're talking about 9/11, but listen, you could listen, Dave. You can say it. It's cool.
He can't say it.
You can say it. I just don't want to talk about it. I want to put this on YouTube because I want to.
There's rules on YouTube.
Podcast. There's rules.
Okay,
you're not allowed to tell any truth. That's the rule.
Okay, yeah. But bottom line is, when it comes to that sort of mentality, then you have to really prove everything to be, you have to prove it. Now, this has a tremendous amount of resources, a tremendous amount of time to now sit there and prove everything that's a lot, man.
Let me tell you something. That is actually how they get away with this nonsense, because they teach us to memorize and regurgitate. They teach us not to investigate anything. Belief is the enemy of knowing. Let me ask you a question. Where do I live?
Connecticut.
No, wait, hold on a second. He said he lives in Connecticut. We don't know that as a fact. We only know that as a fact.
So you believe it. So you believe it. I seem honest. Why would I lie? You trust. So you believe it, but you'd have to go verify. Go online, spend some time. Oh, I found him on Facebook. Oh, look at his friends. Look, I found their houses. Oh, he was at this party. Oh, here's his high school. Bam. Now you know I lived in Connecticut. Okay. Well, but that takes time and effort. And if you have to verify everything in your life, man, that's a hard way to live. It's a hard way to live. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that let me ask this. Is there anything that you've accepted to be true without verifying it?
I'm sure there are. I mean, I'm
Like,
sure
do
there
you
are,
believe-
and
do you
most of the
believe-
times I'm
like, do you
wrong.
believe in God? Like, do you believe in God?
Well, oh, come on, bro. That's huge.
I don't know. Maybe you can't verify.
How about
it.
are the Kardashians real? Please tell me they're not.
I couldn't name the Kardashians, to be honest.
I know, but why? What's wrong with my God question? I'm just saying.
Well, no. It's a good question. It's a great question, and let me answer that. If you looked at a building, do you know that there's a builder? A building. Building. There's a builder. Do you know? Do you know who the builder is? Can you? No. I mean, no. You might not know. Let's say everyone on Earth died except you. You go and you've never seen a building before, and you go and you look in the city, New York City, and you go,
yeah,
huh? Well, there must be a builder. Now you can't prove it. So, with that said, looking, I always believe, Big Bang. We just evolved from amoebas. Amoeba had a baby, it turned into a fish. The fish grew some legs, climbed out of the water, found another sexy fish, had a mother, a mutant baby that climbed a tree that had a human. That's literally. But if you look at like the human eyeball, what it can do, that's not just managed. That is a designer, right? Mm-hmm. So there is a creator. There is a creator. Now there's a lot of people, there's a lot of Christians everywhere. A lot of Christians in flat earth. There's a lot of Christians everywhere. And everyone goes, it's a religious thing. No, it's not. It's not. So this is where I draw the line. When I realize that the earth is flat, which is not a shape, it's a description of horizontal and level. Yes. I realize that it's intelligently designed. There is a creator. That's where I draw the line. Everyone else has their personal journey from there. Your relationship with the creator is your relationship with the creator. It's it's less interactive, less obtrusive to ask people about their intimate, sexual positions with their wife. It's less. I mean, you just let people have their experience. Now, if your religious belief is super strong, right? You can set an example for that person. You can't tell them they're going to hell if they don't follow you or you can say, hey, this is what I do. This is what I believe. And these are the things I've experienced. And I can say, oh, that's cool. I'll take that to note. And, and that's how you lead. That's how you influence people. You don't tell them to do shit.
I brought up God because you said it's unverifiable. That's kind of why it's a belief without verification.
Do you believe that there's a creator?
I know I do. Yes.
Okay. So I believe that it's verifiable that there's a creator. This is not a random accident. That something won't even say someone, something intelligent created this. Maybe we're all pieces of the creator. I don't know. That's your own journey. Okay. Right. Yeah. But there is intelligent design, and that's enough. Right. Yeah. The beings, the Satanists that run this world, they don't want you to know that there's a creator. They don't want you to know that you're at the center of creation. They don't want you to know that you have free will and that nobody has authority over you. They don't want you to know that, that the only authority anyone has over you is in your imagination. They want you playing with their monopoly money. Okay. Right. Which is literally the same color as monopoly money. Our money, if you compare the 1 through 100 to the monopoly money, it's the same color. Okay. It's all about control. It's about the movie The Matrix, the documentary with Keanu Reeves. Yeah. It's a documentary, right? The heliocentric model is the Matrix. It's a prison around your mind. Okay. It's a prison to limit your thoughts, to make you think that, hey, we could be hit by an asteroid at any moment. We're running out of fuel. It's a control thing. Absolutely. And so they don't want you to know that, hey, maybe
Lee's in.
No, I'm not in. I'm just. I understand where you're going.
But here's my problem.
No problems.
No problems. But here's my thought. Like we had someone on our show who was also, we were talking about vaccines and all this other fun stuff, and it was always a they. I hate the term, Dave. I hate the term they because you're going back into like who is the they, and that's here we go.
Oh, here we go.
It's like the elite, and it's like the Freemasons, and it's the.
All right, so listener, he brought up a.
Let Dave describe.
All right, I mean, I'll just tell you a little bit. It's the Council of Foreign Relations, the Club of Rome, the United Nations,
like the Illuminati,
the Bilderberg Group. You can say the Illuminati, but the Illuminati is literally all of these people combined. Right. Okay. The Trilateral Commission. These are the people that we see that run the world. I believe these are all puppets of the great puppet masters, which don't live in the areas of the world that we're aware of. Our world is not not what you think it is. Okay. So we're taught that we live on a globe, and Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the globe. Now imagine a globe, right? You with me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the globe. And if you drew a circle around Antarctica, it's about 10 to 13,000 miles, depending on how accurate you go. So let's say 13,000 miles. You should be able to take a boat around that in a certain amount of time. But the last person that was successfully did it was Captain Cook. It took him 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. Wait a minute. If it's only 13,000 miles around, how did he go 60,000 miles? Right? Because that is not how the world is set up. Now, think about this. You have to believe, if you believe in the heliocentric system, that we live on a rock that's surrounded by water on the outside. It's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, but somehow that water rounds out that lumpy rock to be perfectly spherical. Around that water is air, high pressure, pressurized air. Yep. That's adjacent to a void, a vacuum, a non-pressure system without a container. Nowhere in nature, in a lab or anywhere, can you have high pressure next to low pressure, let alone zero pressure, without a physical container. That's scientifically impossible. We're talking Narnia right there. All right. So I was looking for something. I was talking. And so that's crazy. So let me ask a question. When it rains, where does the water go? Where does a puddle accumulate?
On the ground.
On the ground. Yeah. Where? At the top of a hill, bottom of a hill?
Usually at the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom. And what stops, besides gravity, what stops the water from running away from the puddle, from flowing away? The land is higher than the water, right? Yeah, you're in a depression.
Water
right?
goes, water
and
goes.
So now,
the least
so the difference, you go to a puddle, to a pond, to a lake, just bigger and bigger bodies of water. And what's holding that water? What's giving it the lateral pressure? What large bodies of water at rest lay flat? They need lateral pressure. That lateral pressure is coming from the land that's higher than the water, right?
Yeah.
You with me?
Right. Yes.
So they tell us Antarctica.
Yep.
They tell us Antarctica is at the bottom of the ball, but they also tell us Antarctica is the highest land on Earth, right? So think of Antarctica as the walls of our lake. We live in a lake. All of the continents and islands are surrounded by water, and the edge of our lake is the shoreline of Antarctica, where the land is consistently higher than the water. That holds our pond in. So here's a question. If you sail to the edge of flat Earth, you're not on a disk in space. That's nonsense. You're at the edge of a lake. You don't fall off a lake. You step up onto the land. Now you go walking and you walk farther away. Let's say you walk a mile. Now you can't even see the lake. You walk 100 miles, 1,000 miles, right? What happens when you keep going and then maybe you hit more water? So I'm trying to find an image where I talk to you.
Okay, so while you're finding that, so basically in a flat world, right? There's an ice wall.
Well, it's not an ice wall. The shoreline of Antarctica is the highest continent on Earth, right? So when you pull up to Antarctica, and almost all the areas, the ice, the top of the ice is like 100, 200 feet above your head. So that's a wall or a cliff. It's not like the Game of Thrones. It's the shoreline of our world. Climb up there. Now you're on this icy plateau and you go. So I'm pointing, Antarctica could be a circle around us. And this is a couple thousand miles across. But then when you get to the other side, all of a sudden there's more water. And then out here in the water, more continents. What would you call more land? More territory land, extra territory. If somebody lived on the extra territory, they might be considered an extraterrestrial. From where? From the outer space, here across the Earth plane. Right? Okay. So and only a couple thousand miles away, not impossible light years.
Okay, so are the master of the they, are they like aliens or are they humans? Or
you're saying aliens? Well, aliens. I separate the word alien from extraterrestrials. Okay, I believe that the world is set up in a very different in a different way than they tell us. So
not human form. How about that?
No. I believe they're human form and they probably speak English. Okay. So there's a map that was found in, I believe it's on Hawaii. It was an old Japanese map that showed like 30 or 40 other continents outside of our known area. So these are other continents right here on the Earth plane. Imagine the Earth, an extended plane. We live in a puddle, okay? We live on a pond. And then there's other ponds, other or greater pond, other continents. But we're trapped in here because the people that are running this world have said, hey, Antarctica, we're on a ball and you're not allowed to go past 60 degrees south. And they tell you it's horrible and freezing and cold there, which it is at some points, but then it might get warm again. Okay. There might be other puddles out there, right? When I say that, in my, let me just show you on the app real quick as I talk, it'll just be easier. On the app, if you go to the images, and one of the maps, which I really like. Now, I'm not saying this map is real, but I'm saying it could be, right? Unlike Impossible Space. So we live in this little pond right here, and there's extra land out here, and our sun circles around this pond. It's a small local sun, right? Yep. It's not the sun that they tell you. And then over here are other ponds, and they're only 5, 10, 20, 50, 100,000 miles away. These are minuscule distances compared to what they tell us outer space is, right? And then, so each one of these is sitting on a different piece of the plane. Do you know what you call a piece of a plane? A planet. It's a piece of the plane. Okay.
So are there life forms and other people living on these? Like, is there like other?
Here's the thing. Anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. We don't know, but there's books, there's stories, there's ancient religions, there's all sorts of evidence. We want the right to go explore out there, but that's why they control us with energy and fuel and all of the stuff. Because what if they gave us airplanes that didn't need fuel? What if they gave us back rigid inflatable ships? Well, then we can go explore anywhere we want. But guess what? NASA controls all the helium in the world. They demonize hydrogen. They don't let you fly anywhere near Antarctica. Right. You can't even take a boat near there.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot. Okay, I'll let you go, Lee.
I just gotta take one. Let me take a couple steps back here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a mile. Since most of the people listening to our podcast right now, they're not familiar with the concept of, they've only like heard of it in chuckles on the sides, right? At the local bar, talking like Kyrie Irving is a flat earther. Like
Kyrie knows. What? Kyrie knows.
Okay. So can you just in very simple terms, can you just break it down one more time so like the lay person listening really gets the, because they don't have visuals because we're an audio podcast. So one more time from the beginning, the center of this plane, I'm not going to speak for you. You can do it.
So think of we'll make a smaller scale model of what the flat earth is. Go to Kansas, right? Where are you guys? You're in New Jersey. Okay. I believe you're in New Jersey. So you go to Kansas and let's picture a lake 25 miles around. Okay. That's a big lake. I live on Long Island Sound. It's only 7 miles across and it's pretty damn big. Like you can't see anybody over there until you zoom in on them, which you shouldn't be able to see. So 25-mile around lake. And at the center of that lake is the North Pole.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you hold a compass, the compass will point towards the center of the lake. Now, if you try to go east or west, you have to circle equidistant around that center because it'll change as you go. That north needle is always going to point towards the center. So you're going to walk in a circle. East and west are circles around the center. That's true on a globe, true on a flat earth. It doesn't make a difference. Okay. If you go south, which is any direction away from the center, you hit Antarctica. Okay. So now you're on the lake, you're sailing around, you're going around, you go east to west, you're circumnavigated. You can't see the shoreline because it's too far away. Then all of a sudden you start sailing away from the center. You're going south, south, south. Oh, there's a shoreline. You get to the shoreline, you beach your boat, you get up, and now you're on Antarctica, Kansas. Okay. Right.
Antarctica.
So now you start walking. Let's say you walk a mile, 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, and then you come to another lake and you're in the dark because the street light, the sun is small and close, right? So it's right over that. Right. And so as you go there, you're in darkness and then you might see another light. Hey, there's another street light a couple miles down the road. You go there and that street light will get higher and higher and higher. I say street light because this is how you look at our seasons. Go out on any street that has a straight street that has high street lights. They're all at the same level. Okay. Yeah. Stand under one and go, that's my noon summer sun directly above me. Okay. And then look down the road, east or west, and the one just a couple blocks down the road, that light is not above you. It's way down. It's almost at your eye level, right? It's at your eye level. But you know it's at the same height. That's your winter sun. Okay. So our sun migrates in between the two tropics. The Tropic of Cancer makes a small circle around the inside. The Tropic of Capricorn goes to the outside. So right now our sun is retreating from the north, and it's heading south. It just passed.
And then but what about like South America?
America and Australia, they're going to have their summer in December, right? So if I jump my app to December, January, the sun is on the outside. It goes directly over Australia. Well, that Australia is out south for us. The sun is low. So at noon in December, the sun is low in the sky for us, right? And it's cold because the sun's farther away. Let's say you and I we're here. We're in. I come down to New Jersey or out to New Jersey, and we're sitting in a football field, and it's frozen. There's snow. We're trying to drink our beers, but our beers are freezing. Right? We're 20 feet apart because we have to be safe. You know, the boogeyman might get us. Right? And then somebody comes and holds a heat lamp 15 feet above your head, a nice big heat lamp, 15 feet above your head. It melts all the snow around you. Your beer freezes, unfreezes, and you're like, you take off your coat. That's your summer sun. It's directly above you. But I'm 20 feet away. I don't see that sun above me. It's lower in the sky, and I can barely feel the heat. I'm still frozen. Wait, hold on. Now that person walks over to you, keeping the heat lamp at the same height. You're going to watch it get lower. I'm going to watch it get higher. I'm going to get warm. You're going to get cold. That's how seasons work.
Yeah. Okay. So in a flat Earth scenario, there's a sun, there's stars, there's moon. I mean, what do we have? Like, do we have orbit? What do we have in a flat Earth world?
So they tell us, the only pictures of planets that we've seen come from NASA and Disney, and they're the same company. Okay. And they're all nonsense, right? But yes, I have eyes, I have binoculars, I have a P1000 camera, and I have a telescope. I looked at Saturn. I see it, right? Yeah. And it looks like a sphere to me. It looks like a light with a lit up ring around it. I don't know how the hell that thing is reflecting sunlight so bright. But what is it? How far is it? Okay. They tell us these things are so big and so far, it doesn't make any sense. So if the Earth, so in the heliocentric system, the globe system, right? Follow me on this one. This is good. Your brain has to work to do this. It's not just memorization, and it's easy. If the sun was a yoga ball, how big would the Earth be in comparison?
Tiny.
A marble, a BB, and
not even
like let's say a BB next to a yoga ball. Okay, that's pretty close according to what they tell us. Now let's say at noon in the middle of the summer, I brought the sun 1 mile over your head, the full size sun. You went out, the entire sky would be the sun, right?
Right.
The entire sky would be the sun, and I move it. You know how far away the sun is? No idea, right?
It's
93 million miles. Okay.
Yeah, super far. Yeah.
That 93 million miles is super far, but it doesn't compare to anything. So you move it 93 million miles away, it gets smaller. Why?
Because of point of view?
Perspective.
Yeah.
Right. As things go, they move smaller. So now here's the question. If I doubled the distance, how much smaller would it get?
Oh, it would be tiny.
Twice, yeah.
It would be
less than half the size,
right? Because it went from the full. Thank you. It went from the full sky to the size of a coin held at arm's length. Double the distance. I say you couldn't see it. Some people say, well, it would be half the size of that coin. Okay, let's go with that. We'll give the globe the benefit of the doubt. So if I doubled that distance, so now it's 4 times as far. You think you could see it?
No.
Right. You're right. You couldn't. Let's make it 8 times. So 8 times as far. It's scientifically provable that the angular size of the sun is too small to see. Okay. 8 times as far. Well, they tell us the sun is 8 light minutes away. So 8 times as far is 64 minutes, 1 light hour. You know what a light hour is? The distance light travels in an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I can't move the sun 8 times farther to prove that you couldn't see it. Right. Well, no, we can prove that you can't see it because the angular size, if you do the calculation for angular size, is too small. They tell us Polaris, our North Star, you guys have seen Polaris, right?
Yep.
It's a normal looking star. It's 48 times bigger than our sun. So just like they tell us the sun is 400 times bigger and 400 times farther than our moon, that's why they look like they're the same size. That's what they tell us, right?
Yep.
You didn't know that. Maybe you didn't know that. The sun is 400 times bigger and 400 times farther. That's why they look like they're the same size. So if we made Polaris 48 times farther than I just made the sun, so 48 light hours away, it would be unseeable, right?
Right.
Okay, so 48 light hours away. That's 2 light days. How far do they tell us Polaris is? I'll give you a multiple choice.
It's more than that.
2 light hours, 2 light days, 2 light weeks, or 433 light years.
It's the last.
I'm gonna go with the last.
Yes, yes.
Light years.
Very good. So
You know we're paying attention.
yeah, no, well, thank you. And I kind of tried to make it a little obvious, but 433 light years. That's retarded. Okay. Now
So how are you able?
so what the hell are we saying? Now they tell us our sun is a small star. They tell us Betelgeuse is like 1,000 times bigger than our sun. And then like Antares is like 1,000,000 times bigger than Betelgeuse. And all these stars are all different sizes, but go out and look at the stars. They're all the same size. Why don't we have big stars and little stars? Or did they all organize themselves so the bigger ones are farther and the smaller ones are closer?
Doesn't make sense.
So,
wait,
I
last thing
hear it.
is
Go,
last
finish
thing is we sent balloons up 120,000 feet at night. All the stars
Yep.
disappear. I flew from California to Australia, and at night I was so excited to look at the stars. This is long before I was a flat earther. No stars. There was like 3 lights in the sky. I think they were airplanes. Maybe one of them was a planet, aka
Satellite?
wandering star. Not satellites. Satellites don't exist. Come on, you're better than that.
Okay, so GPS systems, all this. Okay, so Dave, let me ask something.
The ground positioning system. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a hypothetical grounded in somewhat of reality.
Yes.
So now they have people can go and whether it's SpaceX, which you most probably like. I'm not a SpaceX fan, I get it, but people are now not just astronauts, but other people are going out into space, right? They're flying. You don't have to be an astronaut to go into space. So
Okay.
let's say us, the 2 idiots, decided we're going to raise enough money
Mhm.
and we're going to
send me into space.
we're going to put Flat Earth Dave into space.
Yeah.
Now, would Flat Earth? Wait, hold on. Let me give you the hypothetical.
Yeah.
Would you sit there and go to yourself, okay, these guys knocked me out with some gas. They put something into my brain. They created an illusion in my mind. Or would you go out there? Because this isn't like, it's a hypothetical, but it's grounded in reality to the extent of, in theory, we could put you, in sense, out to space. What would you feel or what would you think if you went out there and it was a globe and it was round?
You'd be better off with the first scenario where you just brainwash me, because space doesn't exist. Nobody's ever gone up on a rocket, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. Okay. So
No one's ever gone.
No one's ever gone up on a rocket except like Evil Knievel jumping over the canyon.
Not even Neil Armstrong.
Fake,
No, forget
fake,
forget
fake. And William Shatner, the 94-year-old broke, Star Trek guy, he was launched into space, floating for 4.5 minutes, but they only have like 2 seconds and 3 seconds of footage. And then he comes back and he slams into the desert so hard that everyone on there should be dead. That fat old guy should have crapped himself, right? But when they come out and they open the doors, no doctors, no medical workers, just a couple clapping people, Jeff Bezos, and cheering.
Dave, if I win the lottery, I'm sending you to space.
No one's been to space. That's the problem, right?
So where the rockets going?
Most of them don't even go up in the air, but most of the times they go up and they crash in the Bermuda Triangle, right?
So
have you guys are you realize that we're supposedly going back to the moon? They canceled it twice last week.
Yeah,
right.
No, but there was in 2021. I think there was a SpaceX mission with actual regular everyday citizens or whatever they were.
No, they're not. These are billionaires, and they're all lying. No one's actually ever.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen, and they faked it. So I'm gonna show you something, and you're gonna have to just describe it to your listeners.
Audience.
So
Yeah,
if I show you something, and I show you that Elon Musk is faking a rocket launch, can you unwind it? That everything is bullshit by him. He's faking a rocket launch. So this right here is a rocket that he's going to send to Mars, doing a test launch. This is unedited footage. Now, this little hunk of junk, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like a SpaceX rocket.
Edit. No, this is SpaceX. This is their footage. Go verify yourself. Look how slow it's going. This little light, this little fire, this little blowtorch.
That looks fake.
It's not even close to being done yet. Now, use your brain. Look at the angles. Now, look, how high is this thing? And how fast is it going, right? Now the onboard camera shows it pretty high. Now, look, we still have a side view and an under view, so it's not that far because the angle wouldn't work, right?
That looks like
Buck Rogers. Now, hold on. Now it's off. Now it's 40,000 pounds free falling. Free falling. Now look at the smoke. Watch the next edit. Watch how slow the smoke is going. 40,000 pounds free falling. That's not 40,000 pounds free falling.
I don't know what that is.
That is weird.
This is no. Wait, now look. Now all of a sudden it's above the clouds. This is unedited live footage off of their live stream. Now this thing's falling, right? And all of a sudden now it's up in the sky again. Then 3 engines are going to come on. It's going to turn upright. The cameraman's going to get right underneath it, and 2 of the engines are going to burn out, and then it's going to land upright. Ready? 3 engines turn on. It turns upright. Cameraman gets right underneath it. 2 of the engines burn out, and somehow this thing wobbles and lands and does a bullseye right on the pad. Watch, and when it lands, CGI smoke, and it's landing. Look at this. CGI smoke, and it lands. They portrayed this as real. This was a live stream on the upright landing. So that shows you use your common sense.
I'm a big common sense guy, but I've
Fake
seen like
as fuck. Okay.
That's crazy.
I like to use the word. My man, Dave.
Fake as fuck. Right. Now you can unwind it. Elon Musk is a fraud. I have a video. If you email me afterwards, called Elon Musk is a fraud. 5-minute video that shows you every single accomplishment he's ever done is not real. Okay. He didn't start Tesla. He didn't fund PayPal. He didn't do any of that crap. It's all lies.
Dave, I feel like a lot of it though, like it just seems like a lot of work to pull all this off. Like, well, hold on a second, Dave. You have to have forget NASA because that's a government agency. Let's take NASA away. All these astrophysicists, these scientists. You have to basically convince an entire population.
Yeah, they did a great job. They did a great job.
Because if you think about what are there, like 7.6 billion people in the world?
Right. And there's not that many astrophysicists out there. And most of them are looking up at these dots in the sky and they go, oh, that's a billions of miles away. Look at the redshift.
Hold on. So I've got a point. So my point to this, Dave, is it just seems like a lot of work.
It does. To a lazy mind, it does. Yes.
To basically say that instead of it being a globe, right? That it's flat. If they wanted to hide extra continents or land or whatever, I think they could do a better job than what they've done.
Well, here's the thing: if you put if you had a pet lion and you put it in your yard, fenced in your yard, he wouldn't be happy. He'd pace it all day long. You put him in another fenced area, 500 feet around, 1,000 feet around, he's still pissed off. You put him in a safari park that's 50 miles around. He's probably pretty happy. If he ever finds a fence, he'll just turn around and go do something else. You put a human in any containment, no matter how big, he sees the fence. What does he want to do? He wants to go to the other side of the fence, no matter how big the area is. Okay. So they put an invisible fence around us. It's the globe. It's Antarctica. It's a frozen continent. You don't want to go there. But if they told us, hey, you can't go past 60 degrees south, which they already do tell us, and you can't go, but no one's really fighting it because Antarctica is like, well, there's nothing there. Right. That's what people believe. Hold on. So this is all to stop people from leaving. Now, there's a story. There's a book written called The Iron Republic. And I was telling you about it. I don't know if I told you. The politician left. Was tired of New York City and the politics in the late 1800s. He left, bought a ship, went to Antarctica, found a passage through, ended up at the Iron Republic, was there for years and years and years, and came back and told the story of an advanced civilization, flat screens, floating cars, all sorts of electric stuff, right? This was in 1901, this was written. And it's a fantastic story. Okay. Again, a story. And, and he supposedly had all the proof on the boat and everything. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But he's talking about more land beyond Antarctica back in the 1800s. So the reason I'm telling you the story was the people that started the Iron Republic, they're like, how did you end up here? They goes, well, we used to live where you lived in the 1600s, but there was tyranny going on and we didn't like the tyranny. So we all left and they moved their whole civilization outwards. Okay. So perhaps the Mayans and the Incas and all of these lost civilizations, they've moved outwards. They've gone out away from the center area, which is being controlled. Right. So they're not holding us here. We're here because we're like, I'm going to obey your rules. I'm not going to go south. I'm not going to make a airship. I'm not going to, they don't let anybody that has, there's cars that run on water. There's cars that run on free electricity.
But they don't have the rules that we have. So why don't they make their way back here or at least send us signals?
So the question was, they don't want anything to do with us. They don't want anything to do with what's going on here.
let me just back to the science side.
That's
the physics.
Wow.
I'm not a astrophysicist, but have you spoken to have you debated or what's your when someone?
Oh, you gotta go to YouTube. Of course, he has.
No. So if you Google flat Earth and the number one hit comes up as me debating Professor Dave. Now, Professor Dave is not a professor; he's a musician, a dropout, and he just calls himself Professor Dave. And yeah,
I mean,
of course,
we've called out Neil deGrasse Tyson. We've called out everybody, and they'll make 100 videos about us saying we don't have time to talk to flat earthers. Obama mentioned that flat Earth a dozen times in his speeches. Right?
I'm not saying I understand that they're not going to give you the time of day. I totally get it.
I have your answer. Next Thursday, a week from this coming Thursday, the 15th of September. Myself, Jaronism, another big flat Earth YouTuber, and Sean Hibbler, the creator of the Next Level 2022 movie and a bunch of others, we're going up against a science guy that is on board with all of the other nonsense going on in the world, but he believes the moon landings are real and that the Earth is flat, and he thinks he can prove it to us. So we're going up against
the Earth is not flat.
He believes the Earth is not flat. It's a globe, right?
Yeah.
It's hard, and so we're going to have a very civilized conversation with him. We may not get anywhere. We might agree to disagree
totally
on many points, but it's going to be, this is as sciencey as you can get. This guy is so deep into the system. So that's a week from Thursday. I highly recommend.
Oh, no. I'm going to watch that.
That's interesting. And the other thing, can you tell us more? You keep referencing the app. Can you tell us about the app? Like what did you start?
Yeah. So when I was when I'd be flat, we call it flat smacking. When you're talking to somebody and you're trying to
flat smacking.
Yeah. Like flat smacking,
okay, good.
You go out to grab a beer and with your buddy, and you run into Dave Weiss. He gets your ear, and an hour later you're a flat earther. You come home and you go, honey, good news and bad news. I had my beer, but now I'm a flat earther, right?
Yeah, I think Lee's a flat earther now. I see a look on his face.
Lee, here's the thing.
You didn't win me over yet,
believe anything I say. All right, so here's how the app happened.
I'm just trying to follow.
Here's how the app happened, and here's the challenge I have. The challenge I have is anybody that can come up with one globe proof wins 3 Bitcoins. It's that simple, but I'll tell you how it works. So first, I made the app because I wanted to be able to show people, look, this is how the sun works, and just show them. And when I made it just for myself, I wasn't even going to publish it. I just had it on test flight. And everyone's like, wow, that's great. Where do I get that? And so finally I listed it, and then people are like, oh, this is so great. And everyone started downloading it. Like, can you add this? Can you add that? Can you add this? Can you add that? That's 3.5 years ago. I put 6 figures into this.
Sure.
And it's going crazy, but it's the best way to, especially with Google censorship. You Google flat Earth, you're not going to find anything. You Google one of the best introductory videos. It's called The Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. Pretty damn unique title. It had millions of views, right? It's still on YouTube, but it won't show up when you search it. It might show up 10, 20 pages down.
What was it again?
A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. And it's been uploaded 1 million times, but that won't come up first. You'll get a bunch of other propaganda. So here's what I did. The app, besides having all sorts of tools and visuals in it, every day there's a new featured video. And I tell people, watch the featured video while you're having your morning coffee, breakfast, whatever. Just watch the featured video. Short videos during the week, sometimes longer ones on the weekends. Watch it every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe and could supply me just one simple proof of the globe, just one, you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you have to hit the question mark button. And when you do, up come all the questions that you're going to have, like, hey, what about tides? What about eclipses? What about
I'm thinking no one's got Bitcoins. No one's won, right, Dave?
No one's won because the Earth is flat. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Has anyone tried? Have people tried?
A couple of what we call anti-flat earthers claim, look, the angle of this star from this location and the angle of that, and doing all of this calculated math. Nonsense. First, prove to me that you can see a star at the distance they tell you. It has stuff about our lost history. You want to get lost, go into the app, hit the web button, and hit the mud floods button. Forget it. Good night. Bring food and water. Mud floods, Tartaria. You're going to find out that, we think that we're at the height of civilization. The height of civilization was 150 years ago. Okay. They had technology that's way beyond what we have now. Okay. Wow. There was a reset.
Like the internet? They had the internet?
they didn't need the internet. They had wireless everything. Everything was communication, worldwide communication.
TikTok?
They were built. They had TikTok. Yes, they did. We've just And by the way, there's some great guys on TikTok and on the app. I featured a couple of them. Mind blowing stuff. And our interview will be right under the interviews button. All sorts of stuff. But this stuff will knock your socks off. One of the ones which will ruin your childhood. Rockets are balloons. Balloon rockets. Okay. And when you see that, you're going to be like, "What the hell?" But once you see it, you can't deny it. And the app has books, it has all sorts of stuff. But one of the big things, we were talking about it before the show, is the app has what's called the Friend Finder. And it shows
there it is. Flat Earth Finder.
It's a Flat Earth Finder. So it shows you where the other flat earthers are around you, and you can message them. You can send out group messages. Right now I have mine set for 50 kilometers. While it loads, I'll just talk.
Right.
And within 50 kilometers, there's 440 some odd people. I can send out a group message like, "Hey, we're having a party." Whoops, my app just quit.
Wait, so Dave, how many flat earthers are there if you had to guesstimate?
Well, they did a survey in Brazil a couple years ago, and over 10 million people are questioning the globe. So the question is, how many flat earthers are there? If we look, I'm looking, this is the United Kingdom.
How many downloads does the app have?
So the app has, I'm not even counting the number of downloads, because the number of downloads is a few 100,000.
Well, these people,
but there's 73,000 blue dots,
Wow,
73,000 active blue dots. Okay.
That's impressive, Dave.
In the world.
In the world, 73,000, and it's growing rapidly. It's growing, and we're just starting. But you can pull up people's profiles. People are using it as dating apps. People are already having babies. People are hiring people.
Flat Earth Facebook.
Yeah. What I like about Dave is, first of all, he's very passionate about flat Earth. I love that, and he's got great merch. So for our listeners who can't see, he got a great T-shirt on. It says Flat Earther. He's got a great sweatshirt, which I'm gonna get the sweatshirt. I don't know where we have to get that from.
Well, you go in the app. If you go to the shopping cart button and you open up, there's my merch shop right there. Bam!
Got great merch.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that one hoodie with the picture of the
great merch
of the Earth.
This one right there. This one right here. That's one of my favorites. That's the original. It's the Flat Earth Podcast one, and it's very subtle. It's very subtle, right? Unlike my shirt, it says Flat Earther, as big as you can write. Yeah. And then another thing, which I don't know if you guys are willing to take the trip, but we have Flattoberfest, which is October 20th to 23rd in Greensville, South Carolina. It is amazing. Hundreds of awake, aware, fun people.
It's not going to be conspiracy theories everywhere, is it? Because that's going to be too much for me. I can do a whole flat Earth thing. I can't do an entire conspiracy thing.
It's 96.4% flat Earth.
Because Dave, I just want to enjoy life. You know what I mean? Life,
you know what? Here's the thing. I'm with you. Once you get over this crazy spinning ball, ridiculous nonsense, and you really understand that you're at the center of creation, you become more powerful. You understand. You'll learn a lot of things, like you don't have to give your paycheck away, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. You don't have to do a lot of things. And once you get into this world, life is never boring. There's never a boring moment in my life. I used to flick the channel looking for stuff to watch. Now I would listen to stuff at 2x speed because I don't have time to watch what I want to watch.
Dave, you know what it is? I once went down like this, again, I'm using the word rabbit hole on
That's the name of my podcast, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, by the way.
Okay. And I went on to
my old podcast.
I went down in Scientology. I don't know what your feelings are on Scientology. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you could say what your feelings are, but I went down this like rabbit hole into Scientology. And I just started watching all these documentaries and I started reading all these things about it. And then you start like learning more about the history of it, where it came from, and L. Ron Hubbard and the religion and tax, all this. And I'm sitting there going like, what's real and what's not real? And I'm like, do I really care enough to even like want to know anymore? Like, I think I know enough. And I said, you know what, I'm moving on.
Let me tell you something. The 2014, 2015, the globe trolls, the anti-flat earthers would go, good luck getting a job. Good luck, moving out of your mother's basement, but the truth is now there's so many of us. Flat earthers only want to work for other flat earthers, and flat earthers only want to hire other flat earthers. So we're hiring people, but you have to be a flat earther for us to hire you. We're only dating other flat earthers. There's so many women and guys, and it's coming into such a big thing. It's amazing. And flat earthers have the advantage because if you're with somebody that's not a flat earther, you have a great chance. If they're smart and love you, they'll listen to you and they'll see flat earth. You have 0% chance. You have a greater percent chance of bringing somebody back from snowboarding back to skiing.
My hope for you in the flat Earth world is that you guys get enough money, enough resources, and then go to the end of, because remember, it's like if it's a flat Earth, that means it's got like 4 sides to it, right? You should be able to.
No, it's an extended plane. We don't know where it goes. What if the oceans went on forever and there was continents and continents and continents? Not forever, extended. We don't know. Your universe goes on forever and it's expanding into nothingness.
Your universe.
Yeah. Well, it used to be my universe.
It's Steven's universe.
So we live in this extended plane, which is way bigger than this little pond that we're trapped in.
So you don't think you might not even be able to go to the end of the flat Earth?
It's speculation.
The flat Earth. I showed you that map before, right? Yeah. With all those other ponds. Those are no one's been to that. Nobody that we know in our life has been. But what if that was all open to us? What if, hey, airships are back, free energy's back. We can get an airship. Hey, let's go take a 5-year cruise and go to some other worlds. Right? Those other worlds are just tens of thousands of miles away, which is nothing.
I know you put this on YouTube, so I don't want to get you banned from YouTube. But why don't you go on a journey yourself?
Well, because if you go to my website, flatearthdave.com, that's where you can find the app. That's where if you're interested in booking me for a show, you can find there. But there's the Next Level movie. I get yourself a high def copy of that. Watch that movie. I happen to be in it, but that's not why I'm telling you to watch it. Because it will open up your mind. But in that movie, there's a scene showing you about Antarctica. You can't go there. You'll be stopped by warships. There's seven different warships, 7 different bases around the perimeter of the world. To get in
everything? You're technically not allowed to go to Afghanistan, but people still go.
Well,
Area 51. You're not supposed to go there.
No, but like Afghanistan, like you're not supposed to be able to go into Afghanistan. You could sneak in. Like there's
people have tried and they've been stopped. But there's all of these islands. Remember the Falkland Islands War? The Falkland Islands. What's going on there? This is where we have all of these bases. And they're run by the Crown and the UN. And anybody that goes south of 60 degrees south is stopped by warship.
Can you explain the 60 degrees thing? Because you keep saying that.
So the equator, which is a circle halfway between the center and the outside, is 0 degrees.
Yes.
Right? Zero degrees. And if you go north, you go higher in latitude. We're at about 40 degrees north of the equator. 40 degrees south of the equator, 60 degrees is a little farther, and no one's allowed to go beyond 60.
Gotcha. How does that work into your flat Earth?
That stops you from getting to Antarctica. Now, however, there's 100 different companies that will take you on a trip to off of Santiago, Chile, to
the Cook Islands or something.
No, they'll take you to an island off of Antarctica. I think it's called Rothschild Island. That's a whole other thing. Right? So they take you to this little island here. They show you some penguins and they kick you out. But those 100 companies are all under one person. They're all owned by the same company. So somebody's controlling the entire market, right? Wow. You can't go there. And like the cheapest ticket is like 10 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm sure.
And then they barely let you off the ship. But even if they did let you off the ship, this little white ring right here, that's 1,500 miles right there. Right? Yeah. Maybe 2,000 miles. Right? You look at the United States. It's 3,500 miles across. So that's like 2,000 or 3,000 miles. All right. So where are you going? What are you going to see when you're there? But they won't let, like, if we had, didn't have to worry about fuel, like with the rigid inflatable, we can go out there and explore. I want the right to go explore. They won't let us.
No. I don't know, man. I feel like the government has a hard enough time, like running a website like Obamacare or any of these websites, let alone this is a massive conspiracy.
Right. This is beyond government. Governments are puppets.
Multiple nations. You're talking about multiple people.
All the nations are involved.
I'm not saying this can't be real. I mean, I have no clue. But what I'm saying is this is. You're talking massive scale. Yeah,
here's the thing.
Massive scale.
NASA is just it's just a Hollywood studio to make us believe. It's just a whole big skit to make us still believe we live on a globe. And because all flat earthers, we've unplugged from the matrix. We're out. We're no longer feeding them. If everyone watched your podcast when you put this up and everyone goes, hey, you know what? That Dave is right. All governments would just dissolve. We won't even know who they were. They would mean nothing because nobody would paying attention to them. The only reason they have power is because we pay attention to them and we say, yes, yes, master, and we do what they say.
But you don't want to be like Somalia, where there's like nothing, and then it's lawlessness. I mean, that's what happens when you have nothing. It's lawless.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
that's just the way the world plays out.
So the thing is, these governments are not here for our benefit, and once you understand that, and once you see all that, I listen. Yeah, it's a massive conspiracy. It's so big that people can't see it. Most
Dave,
people.
who started the flat Earth movement? Like how? Where?
It's been around forever. So here's the thing. They, in the
modern. I'm saying modern times.
I 50s, right?
Well, it's been around forever, but the people didn't have a way to communicate since the reset in the late 1800s. So we're all living here, re-inhabiting all of these cities that were here. These cities were here before we got here. Washington, D.C. was built before Christopher Columbus allegedly discovered America. Okay. These buildings are here. There's buildings underneath those buildings. There was a massive mud flood. That's a whole nother story. But who started the movement? It's been around forever. And then in the late 60s or 70s or whatever, they came up with the Flat Earth Society. That's called controlled opposition. They had this guy go on Johnny Carson, go all this place, and just tell these ridiculous stories
to make everyone think he's crazy.
And then you Google Flat Earth, you end up at the Flat Earth Society. You end up seeing the turn up in space, right? We're not a turn up floating in space. They want us to believe that that the Earth is a pancake or a turn up. Whoops, that's not what I was trying to show you.
Do flat earthers? But you guys believe in like medicine and like you'll go to the doctor if you're sick, or you won't.
I'm a fan of orthopedic, emergency medicine, but I don't take any allopathic medicines. They're all made from oil industry and stuff. There's so many natural cures for everything, but they don't want us to know that. You
like
say
antibiotic. Will you take an antibiotic?
I will take an antibiotic if necessary. Like if I get a bad sinus infection, it knocks the crap out of it, but that's bad. It's really bad. And there's other ways to cure it. I rarely ever get them.
What about your diet? Like what about eating?
I do the best. Back in the 60s and 50s, organic food used to be called food. Okay. Yeah, but now think how upside down the world is. You can spray the most cancer-causing stuff on food and serve it to people without telling them. But if you want to not spray that on there, you have to spend a shit ton of money, get it certified, and pay extra to serve natural food.
You see, Dave, this is where we can agree. Like, I'm with you on this, like 100% with you on this. I listen, although I'm not a doctor, I did go to medical school. I tend to believe that when it comes to medicine, like physicians, whether you call it allopathic, osteopathic medicine, whatever, that before, right, in the 1800s, they used to use, like, even before then, leeches and all
that. That's actually coming back. The leech therapy is actually a good thing.
Yeah, but I think we got to a point where we realize there's bacteria, there's viruses.
Well, hold on. I'm not going down that road, right? Okay. Because there's go to stoplookthink.com, watch the videos there. Stoplookthink.com, all of the stuff you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, especially the germ theory. The germ theory. Okay. Yes. Wash your hands. You will get infection, but there are no little germs going around trying to make
no viruses,
sick.
No bacteria.
There's parasites, right? But viruses, no. Parasites, yes. Okay.
Dude, we could do like 8 hours.
No, wait, I have more questions.
We won't even scratch the surface in 8 hours.
I was about to say.
I saw in the notes that the prep.
Oh yeah, he had great stuff in there.
The mention in the Bible. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like you said that the flat Earth is mentioned in the Bible. Is it the Old Testament?
Old and New. There's over 200 verses in the Bible that talk about a flat Earth, but I don't ever lead with that because science, actual science, not pseudoscience, proves the Earth is flat. And then you can say, and it's also in the Bible. Page 1, Genesis. God separated the waters from the waters. God created the sun and the moon. The heavens, the greater light for the day and the lesser not light for the night. Okay. The moon is a light. Think about this. We were talking about Polaris, 433 light years away. Let's talk about the closest star. The closest star is, I forget the name. I think it's Alpha Centauri, or maybe it's something else. Doesn't matter. It's 4.5 light years away. That's 25 trillion miles. Okay. Doesn't sound that far, right? 25 trillion miles.
Sounds far to me.
Just so you understand what a trillion is, how long is 1 trillion seconds? If you guess it within a week, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
It's Well, no, I saw recently someone brought this up, like on
Yo,
TikTok or
you
something.
get this.
Yeah, it was
No,
probably
it's like-
me. It was me. It's me.
might be-
It was me.
No, it's like 10 years.
There's
or something
no
like
way.
that. Is
Larry,
it,
what? 10 years?
is it like 10 years? It's a lot.
You want to take a bet? You want to take a guess?
No, let's see. You
No,
got a guess?
I have no clue.
It's 31,000 years.
Oh,
Okay.
there you
No,
go.
stop. Just take a breath. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. Okay. If you were traveling at a mile per second, which no one has ever done, and you traveled for 31,000 years, you're 1/24th of the way to the closest star. If you were traveling at 100,000 miles an hour, which is a speed you can't even fathom, it would take you 28,000 years to get there. Okay. Those are ridiculous distances. You can't
Right.
see lights at those distances. Light spreads and then stops. You spread a light out, like you're looking at one lumen light, and then spread that light out over 10, a bigger area. It's less, and it gets less and less and less to the point where you can't see it. Okay.
What were you gonna
Could
say,
you
Steve?
imagine? Could you? Oh, listen.
I was gonna wait. Hold on. I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say
go
to
ahead.
Dave. Like, listen.
Yeah.
I love Dave's passion.
Yeah,
It's like infectious. But with that, it's like almost like looking at it from like the other side, where I'm like, okay, don't trust those guys, which is the government, they and all.
Don't
that.
trust
Yeah.
me.
But then don't trust Dave.
Yeah.
So now
Don't
I'm-
go prove
wait,
it yourself.
Wait,
You know-
no. So that's what, so now I'm saying, I like. So to me, I'm like, listen, if I could, right? If I could,
Yeah.
I would spend the money. God willing, I'll make it.
Yeah.
And I would like launch into space if I could. And
You're saying I'm interrupting. I'm interrupting
Or,
because
wait, hold on, Dave. Or I would take some sort of like whatever I can and fly past Antarctica and maybe
Yeah.
get shot down by like a battleship
yeah.
because one of the two exists. Do you
Well,
follow what I'm
that
saying?
one you could try that one, but going into space you can't do it. It doesn't
okay,
exist.
okay.
It's like
So
saying that you want to be put inside a cartoon and see if Bugs
I don't
Bunny
okay.
become your friend.
No, Dave, you're right. I want
right.
to fly towards Antarctica.
I want to like take a
and
submarine.
I want to be shot down by like
So,
a battleship.
I'll save you. I'll
that-
save you a lot of work. In the app on the frequently asked questions page,
Yep.
there's a button called Antarctica, and if you click that button, there's a video called "Sorry, Antarctica's closed." We did it all for you. We showed you. We'll show you
I'm
everything.
gonna watch that one.
And then so you watch that one, and that'll make you understand that you can't go to Antarctica. Right
No,
now, the people say,
I
"Oh, yes,
should
you
be able-
can. Yes, you can." You can't. It'll take you over a year to file permits. It'll cost you between $200,000 and $2 million in permits, and then they'll deny it and they'll keep your money. Okay,
Dave,
you're not going anywhere.
This has been really great, and yes, we could talk to you for hours.
Holy
and not,
cow!
So
not scratch the surface. The
let me just last thing.
let
I
him
want
wrap it up, wrap it
to
up.
I want to ask you a question. Cops.
Go.
It's hard for you to grasp this. Nobody wants to let go of their ball. We're all children at heart. Give me
Pretty
your
much.
best proof that you live on a globe. And here, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. You don't have one. Okay. And then ask yourself, why the fuck do you still believe you live on a globe? You don't have a single proof.
Dave, I'll tell you why. This is the
Because
reason
you
why.
can't imagine that there's so many people out there that can keep a secret. And it seems like a lot of effort.
Nope, Dave. The effort part, yes, but this is really what it comes down to, Dave. Again, I kind of feel that everything could be a conspiracy. Everything that you do from the minute you wake up in the morning. Wait, hold on, Dave. To when you go to sleep, you could be like the whole Matrix could be. You could right now be plugged into a massive computer. Like once you start going down that sort of thought process, all this that was so great about that movie when everyone watched it. And I just turned 50, so I'm at that age where like I'm on the back nine now, right?
That's a belief. They want you to believe that. They want you to believe your life is short. They want you to believe it. I don't identify with chronological age.
Okay. So let's just say this. Basically, I'm a firm believer that, like, at the end of the day, wait, hold on a second.
Say it.
Listen,
keep saying
great.
that. Keep saying
Listen,
that.
Dave, you get one ticket. You get one ticket to ride. I don't think you come back. I don't believe you get reincarnated. I don't. And if you do, you don't remember anything. You get one ticket to ride. So to me, on that one ticket to ride, I want to enjoy.
I'm having the greatest time of my life. Listen,
my family,
I had my own
friends.
company. I had my own company. I was making more money than I ever made.
Dave,
I ever thought I could make.
That.
and I walked away from it all to talk to.
But Dave, I feel
two idiots. Right.
Dave, I feel,
Don't hold back.
Wait, hold on. But Dave, I feel like I don't. Hopefully you're not. But like to wake up and to go to sleep every night and
it's
day
phenomenal. The stuff.
Okay.
Like if you went outside, just go into the woods. You don't even know what you're seeing. Like I can't even. It's you're right. I go into the woods and I'm blown away. I'm like those rocks I was climbing on.
But are you worrying that like
is a giant tree?
No, but
Holy
Dave,
crap!
Are you worrying that the pigeons are like tracking you and they're like birds?
Oh, that's a conspiracy I don't believe.
Okay,
that birds are.
What about the turtles?
Are
Our brother-in-law wanted us to ask you about the turtles.
If there's a turtle, like,
do you know about the turtles thing? The turtle theory?
That there's a turtle on flat Earth?
No, that we're on the back of a turtle, on back of a turtle, something on back of whatever.
There's multiple turtles all leveled.
Yeah. That
have you heard of that one?
Well, of course. There's in the one of the playlists on the app under FE Movies. There's a video called "Flat Earth: The Ultimate Litmus Test," and it starts out with a great joke about that. It says out the great joke. It's a great movie to watch. So in the app, you hit the web button, scroll down till you see full length videos. And then in there, just start watching those videos. But one of them, Flat Earth, The Ultimate Litmus Test, I believe it's the first video on the list. That'll blow you away, and it'll bring your turtle thing.
I'm still trying to think of your question about think of one thing that can prove it.
There's no way to prove it because at the end of the day, you can talk about horizon, curvature. You can talk about all this stuff, sun, moon.
Like he doesn't believe in gravity. We know that.
No, right. So to me, it's like one of those things where it's like Dave is dug in, and I love it. But with that being said, I feel like it's just
there's a turtle.
There it is. There's a turtle.
So wait, so there used to be 13 months of 28 days. Okay.
When?
The before they hijacked our calendar and made it all screwed up. So the turtle has 28 little tiles around it, and then 13 center tiles. Weird, huh? Maybe that's where the myth got mixed in. Who knows?
Gotcha.
Where'd I find that? That's amazing.
Listen, Dave, if you ever want to slow down a bit, go mountain biking, play some tennis, I'm all in because I'm all about just enjoying the ride.
Dude, I'm enjoying this ride. I'm out. I go on my boat. I go wakeboarding. I swim. I have my mountain bike. I haven't been using it a lot, but maybe I will this fall.
Dave,
I enjoy life.
Where should people find you? What's the best way?
FlatEarthDave.com. That's it. FlatEarthDave.com. They've already got a knockoff app on the Android store. The Flat Earth Society people have it, and it stole the name and stole some of the images, but their app sucks. So don't send me an email telling me my app sucks.
Okay.
Because it's not my app. Flat Earth, it's by Blue Water Bay, but just go to FlatEarthDave.com, click the link there. It'll take you to app.
And they can check you out. You're on social media doing stuff like on
Instagram. All my social media stuff is there. Okay. All my YouTube channels there. My YouTube channel, DITRH. My TikTok, DITRH, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. And it's all short videos for the lazy, expanded people. Short attention span people.
Lee, if we win the lottery, we are getting a
lottery is a scam. You're not going to win.
Damn it. Well, if we do, I'm taking Dave, I'm taking you, Lee, and we're going to Antarctica, and we're going to get shot down.
Yeah, we already have a friend that I met in Mexico that has very, 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 very wealthy, and he's trying to put a ship together, and he wants me to go, but I don't even think he'll be able to put it together and get the permission to go. Even when you get the permission to go, you get turned around and sent back, and like
who needs the permission?
You need the permission from like all these different countries. They make it. They're like, well, no, you got to call Russia, and Russia goes, no, you got to call, the so and so, and then they just send you back and forth. It's like no one's going anywhere.
Dave,
no one's going anywhere.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Yeah, that was amazing, Dave. Amazing.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I mean, I have to. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight, but
what kind of phones do you guys have? iPhones or Androids?
I have an Android. Steven has an iPhone.
I have an iPhone.
I have an Android.
Okay. I'll email me. I'll give you a free download for the Android, but not for
no. I'm gonna order.
Listen, the app. Hold on. Just a full disclosure. The app's $3. That's it. Okay,
that's fine.
Hold on. There's an $11 a year. You bought me a fucking margarita and you forgot to tip the bartender. Subscription if you want to be able to send messages to other people. Right. And there's a couple other smaller features on there. But without the subscription, the app is amazing. Okay,
I'm
but
ready
the
to check it
$11 helps support the app and the friend finder and the Flat Earth
great.
Tinder and everything.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Lee and I will definitely be ordering sweatshirts. You will see a purchase order for those sweatshirts because they're great.
Yeah, get the premium sweatshirt. It's a really good one. It's a good one.
We're on it.
Definitely.
Yo, you have 2X for my boy?
Yeah, they have. I think they have 2X.
All right, don't let Lee down.
Yeah.
We got
I like the
large.
heather gray one too, and the black one is awesome.
The black-
Either
no,
way,
go
the
black,
black
go
one
black.
or the dark gray.
Yeah, black.
All right, and try to make
yeah.
it to Flattoberfest. Flattoberfest.
Oh, boy.
Flattoberfest.
Flattoberfest in South Carolina.
Look
It's
at
what's it? A 10-hour drive for you guys?
Something like that.
Yeah. Flattoberfest.com. Check
Cool.
it out. It's a amazing music festival, conference, and picnic.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
Dave.
All right, Dave.
It's great to
You're
meet
the
you.
best.
Good
Thanks,
to
bro.
see you.
Cheers, guys.
Be safe.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.